Might as well do.
Good evening. This is the July 30th, 2025 meeting of the Newcastle Zoning Board of Appeals. And tonight, before we start our big agenda, we have a couple of extensions to do. Just a
May I?
second.
Am I on here?
May I?
May I?
Hi, I'm Robin Zahn, the architect for the project. Yeah, it's needed more time to get a complete construction set, still waiting on structural engineering and sprinkler engineering. But everything should be completed in the next, hopefully 2 weeks, and then we'll be able to go out to bid. We have contractors lined up that are gonna be able to bid on the project.
Okay. And how much time do you think you need?
Well, the only problem might be that some contractors, I know one in particular is not able to do construction until the spring, so as long as you can give me, that would be great in case they end up with that contractor. So if a 6-month extension is allowed, then
We can do 6.
I would go for that.
We like to keep it shorter if possible, but I understand what's going
Yeah.
on today. It's not
Yeah.
easy. Money and paperwork and contracts.
Exactly.
We see this a lot. and,
Yeah.
We understand that.
Yeah, I don't wanna
Building
give,
department, any objections?
Not at all, sir.
Anybody on the board have any comments? Okay, I'll make a motion that we extend this Mayotte application for 6 months with 1 year to finish after you start.
I second the motion.
Good.
Did you have something to add?
Nope, that's it.
Okay.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
You have your extension. Good
Thank
luck.
you.
Phillips and Frieding.
Hi there. Good evening, everybody. We're requesting a 6-month variance for renovating our house on Castle Road. The bids came in higher than we expected for the entire project, and we decided to phase it into 2 stages. So we asked our architect to redo the drawings so that we can redo the existing house in the first phase and then add an addition with a new living room and primary bedroom in the second phase. And we have a contractor that we've chosen, and so we're asking for a 6-month extension, and we're hoping to start construction sometime in the fall, hopefully around October.
Okay, but the project itself will be the same as we approved previously? There's no changes in the project?
The ultimate project will be the same as the drawings you previously approved. We're just staging it now into 2 separate phases of construction.
Understandable. You okay with that, Tom? Or you have,
Will they complete the zoning section of it in the 12 months would be my question.
okay.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Yes, will you be completing the zoning requirement section of the construction within the 12-month period?
Oh, I see what you're saying. I think both phases of construction would affect the zoning variance in that it had to do with setbacks. So the answer to that would be no. We would do the existing house first, and then, perhaps a year from now, pick up the addition. That's the plan.
Would the board be in favor of a longer period of time to complete the total project?
I don't have any problem with that if the project continues without laying fallow for too long. I mean, I understand what's going on, I realize there's budgetary constraints, but you have something else?
My next question would be, are you doing this all under the one building permit application, or will you be filing separately for the second phase?
It's a good question. I would ask my architect that. I would assume there would be a second permit, but that's a layman's guess.
If you chose a second permit, then you'd have to come back to the board and make a separate ask for that addition. It wouldn't be encompassed into this ask.
I see. Okay, so then I prefer to do it under one if possible.
So if you do it under one, the building permits don't last forever, they do have
A building permit's for 12 months,
12
but they
months.
are renewable,
can be renewed,
yes,
okay.
for
I
6-month
see.
periods, so
So I would say that if they took the permit out to get started and then renewed it for the next phase, would be okay, but we don't want this to carry on indefinitely. That's one of the things
Of
we try
course.
not to do, is have an open project indefinitely. It's not good for the owner, it's not good for the town, it's not good for anybody.
Understood.
Do you feel you'd be done in 18 months with both projects?
I think it's possible. I couldn't promise it, but I think it's possible.
So
Would that be
why
favorable?
why don't we, I'll make the motion, that we give them 6 months to start, 18 months to finish. If you're not finished in 18 months, your permits will expire and you will have to come back to us for additional variances if needed and additional building permits if needed. If you're okay with that, I'll make that motion and that'll give you a good time to get your project on board.
I appreciate that, thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna make a motion that we give them 6 months to start, 18 months to finish, with the caveat that the 18 months will be the definite completion date. If it's not, they will come back to us for additional approvals and to the building department for additional approvals.
I second the motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
Okay, you have your extension, good luck.
Thank you.
Wojcicki?
So we are coming back with the revised plan. I understand that at the last meeting when I was absent, there was a request and comment was to add additional planting along the garage, which we are proposing. And so we basically accommodated all the comments and implementing them in our plan.
So that's your final planting plan. Have the neighbors had any way to see that or have any input?
No, I don't think that you. Oh, okay. No, but it's online.
Is it on? Is your mic,
Yes.
is the mic on? Okay.
Yes.
Alright, so I'll ask right now, is there anybody in the audience that would like to comment on this application? Come on up.
Hi, Greg Gonzalez, 38 St. John's Place. So yeah, this is the first that we've seen these plans. I know the last meeting that we were here in May, we were charged with a homework assignment that you gave us to do and talk to Svetlana, our neighbor, about the planting plan. We waited a few weeks, went by, we reached out to her, we said, hey, let's talk. She never responded back to us. We came here in June for the June meeting and then weren't given the courtesy that plans were in the works and that she wasn't going to show up for the June meeting. And so here we are and we haven't had a chance to look at it, so we have concerns. The summer rains that have come have reminded us that in fact the area between our properties is extremely flat. It gets very dry and it tends to pool with water. I mean, in certain cases it does flood. We had Westchester Tree Life come and assess the area and say, well, this is sort of a narrow band of grass that they would be able to plant between the driveway and our property line. And the question then is, you know, where does the water go? So I think we need some sort of an assessment to make sure that we're not getting flooded on our side. And even he said, boy, this driveway is gonna have to be pitched severely to make sure that the water doesn't come in and flood over on your side of the property. So we have a lot of concerns and you know, I wish, you know, we could have talked about the plan beforehand, but you know, we've done our best to reach out as good neighbors and that hasn't been reciprocated, unfortunately.
Understood. Now, you have to realize that we are the zoning board, we are not the engineering department, we're not the building department.
Right.
We understand your concerns about water, we don't have any control on that. We're here looking at the variances for the application. The planting plan was requested to protect the view from the next door neighbors. I think that if you have concerns with water, you need to speak with engineering and building department to be sure that the construction is done in such a way, if we should approve this, to not adversely affect your property or your neighbor's property. We can't help, we're sorry, we'd like to help everybody with everything, but we don't, we're very limited. Our job right now is to determine if the variances are granted, that it will not severely impact the neighborhood and will be, valid with the law. We've asked for the plantings for protection for the neighbors, and we see that they have been provided. If my colleagues have anything else to put into that, they're more than welcome to put their ideas and views into it. If there's anybody else in the audience that wants to speak about this,
wanna speak
Yes.
we're more than happy to hear it.
There
Remember
is-
our limitations, we are not all powerful, we do have limitations.
38 St. John's Place, Kathy Gonzalez. So I'm just, so are these trees, are they planted? I just am having trouble with this. Where's the fence? The fence is here?
Right.
So you are planting the
So here,
trees?
I'm going to, there's another study that we did a little bit of, just basically existing condition photos. This is how it is right now. This is the neighbors, your tree that comes on this
Mhm.
property.
And she hasn't yet tried.
Right,
Mhm.
and we would have to trim it in order to plant the new trees. Well, we also, the owner has consulted Mr. Dennis Corelli, that is present, I think, at the meeting. And he has expressed also some concerns that it's going to be very shaded because of the existing trees. So we researched some, in order to accommodate, the desire of planting the comments, the species that would eventually, keep off. So this is how it is right now, and that's how it would be with the conditional planting. And so.
Mr. Chairman?
So
We have the environmental coordinator on the screen if you need to ask any questions of him.
Okay,
Mr. Pirelli.
good.
And I think there's a letter also that I attached to the application, which we received from Mr. Corelli about, that's why we researched actually species that would have any kind of potential to be successful growing there in that neighborhood.
So my another concern we had is the amount of space between if you're planting the trees on this side of the fence, because you cannot plant them along our fence because that's our property. They have to be, right, they have to be. So she's okay then, you're all okay having if you're planting trees along the garage here, she has no access, she has no way to get to the backyard through here.
No, there is a 3-foot like a passage and then 5 feet for the trees, and this is the property line. So it is going to be,
It is extraordinarily, I don't even know,
well,
It's
that's
extraordinarily
what we
tight.
have. Exactly, I agree.
We have the smallest property on the street, and it just feels like we are trying to shove in this giant structure into this and crowd us out of our oasis, which is our oasis. And for her, it's not. And it is going to impact us. And the way our house is situated, our front door, we have a lovely little front porch that goes right out. I have a picture.
I'm just going to, this is the view from her property to your property.
No, that's back here.
That's
I'm
where
talking
the
from my front
garage.
porch, which is over here.
But the garage would be here.
But the driveway is gonna be going right through here. And we sit out here, we enjoy our porch, and now we're gonna have a driveway that has 5 cars on a very small driveway and big garage right on top of us.
So
We are okay, we totally feel okay with a 1-car garage. But a 2-car garage is excessive for that amount of space and for how it will impact us. And it just feels just really tight, really awful to us. We love where we are. It's our sacred place, and it does not feel good. It feels like we're trying to put too much into a small space. And it impacts us, it's not impacting her. She wants what she wants, and
she wants to have a garage, but this is what we are proposing. There's going to be a bigger tree here up front, where there is the Japanese maple. We're going to have a bigger maple. And all along the fence, there's going to be planting and the driveway.
It just doesn't seem possible. We've been out there, we have measured, we have looked, it just seems we're shoving too much. It's too tight, it's too much. Those trees are gonna be right up against my fence and her garage, and there's gonna be no access when they grow, cause she wants those green giants, they're gonna grow big, they're gonna grow large. Rem said it, Rem was there, he looked, he's like, I don't know, they will have no access to.
There is no need for a passage here. The passage
Right,
is
Well, that's
only
fine if she doesn't
Yeah.
want that.
Yeah, then that's fine, but
here. Yeah,
for us, it really encroaches upon us. It feels
but
really,
it's on her property.
again, it just feels very tight. It is like within feet. I know, I sound like a
The tree-
broken
no,
record.
I understand. The trees were, we wanted these plantings to help you.
Yeah.
The trees are there to shield you
Yeah.
from the view of their
From the
property.
driveway.
If the trees impact their access and give them no access to the backyard,
That's
that's
their issue, I
their
know.
problem. It's not your fault, it's their problem, they'll have to deal with that. Because if we were to approve this and we approve that planting plan is in perpetuity. They can never change that, they can't take them away if they find out, oh my God, these trees are in my way, I can't stand it anymore. They have to put them back, if one of them should die, they have to put it back. There will be no ifs, ands, or buts about that. So we are here to help them as much as we can and protect you as much as we can. So it's kind of a give and take compromise situation.
Well-
I understand what you're saying, but we're trying to give you some protection from seeing what you don't wanna see and helping them get what they
And here,
would like to.
that's another thing. They have, I just so you
No,
all
no,
know,
really,
there are loud sports cars.
Okay, we have a noise ordinance in town. It's not the zoning board's purview.
We've actually had to call, we've called the police about that in the past and nobody's done anything about it and it's, and we've been nothing but good neighbors. We have talked to them, we've tried, and I think what's just disheartening is that we have been great neighbors and we have not, and if we could have gotten any of the respect that we deserve from everything that we have done for them, it would have been nice, but she's gonna get what she wants and it compromises those of us who've grown up in this town, raised our kids in this town, worked in this town. I've taught in this town, we volunteer a lot in this town, and this feels really, really bad to us, but
If character ever comes into play in terms of granting a variance or not, this is one of those situations I think that character should matter. Because just the fact that we were ghosted by her for the last 2 months just speaks volumes about her character. I hate to say it. I wish it weren't the case.
I understand what you're saying, we are governed by state law, we have 5 criteria that we have to observe and consider. Unfortunately, character is not one of them. Again, we are not all powerful here,
Right.
we have a lot of power, but we don't have all the power in the world.
I understand.
And we're here to try to make it, we're all neighbors here, we're trying to make everybody come clean as best as we can. I would like to speak with Mr. Corelli about the environmental situation there, if he can help you in any way with your
Yeah.
concerns about the water or things like that.
Yeah.
Are you on, Dennis, are you there? No, how can we get his attention,
Let
Tom?
me send him a message, I think he's on mute.
I think it's on.
There he is.
Did they have any concerns with the bulk of the project?
I'm gonna find you. While we're waiting for Dennis, were you at, was this project, excuse me, was this project reviewed by the ARB?
Yes,
And or
it
the
was
planning
approved,
board?
yes.
And the ARB had no problem with the design, construction, bulking, et cetera, et cetera?
No.
Okay.
does the ARB come to the site and actually see what's,
It depends.
They're
Sometimes.
their own agency, they do what they feel they need to do. Is
I
that-
think he's good now, he should be off
Okay.
mute now.
You can hear me speak now, Mr. Chairman?
Okay, yes, we can, alright. We're
All right,
concerned,
from the board.
we're concerned about the water situation and the planting plan for this property. Do you have any input that you can help us with?
Well, this is the first I'm hearing about this, so the water concern is for pitch, it's for substrate, it's for what is the existing condition that makes it so rosy now, and what's the concern about where this is gonna go? Maybe that's why I'm a little confused.
So where the driveway is proposed to be in rains, in heavy rains, not
Especially
even
in
just
summertime.
torrential, but
Especially summer.
especially in the
Where
summertime,
the ground is dry and it's very flat.
we get a lot of, we get a big pond of water. Oh, and it's on her property. It's on her property by those
Right.
two trees. So if you
Okay.
take those if you take those two trees down, you put a garage over there and you put a driveway there, what happens to the area around, where's that water gonna go? Does it, Rem happened to just mention the driveway has to be pitched in a way where it is not gonna, that water is not gonna run off that driveway over onto your yard. That was just, he pointed that out to me.
Right, so
It is a concern.
So some of this is engineering. I mean, as far as, if you're looking to direct drainage to dry wells, even drain into the structure, I'm not really necessarily going to speak to that. I mean, it's not a wetland situation. Water will pond in places that are wetlands, and eventually it either evaporate, gets absorbed into the ground, and or both. But as far as from a planting perspective, obviously as you kind of move up in trophic levels, the lawn's only gonna do so much. And then, if you're gonna do shrubs, sure, they'll absorb, a little bit more and so on. But, no, not necessarily in January. So that's why I still speak to, if this is a concern, that, there needs to be some sort of, engineering component if that's even, required as part of the application.
Because our house also is within feet of that, our house is within feet of the fence in that whole area. It's like, 15 feet maybe.
Okay.
So,
Right, and understandably too, since you did mention before, a lot of the properties, sometimes what makes all this difficult is, I understand what the town is tasked with and what the codes are tasked with, but it's hard environmentally sometimes to take this parcelized view. I mean, you obviously have the street, you got the big church across the street, you have other properties that are all developed in some capacity on the same plot of land. So the influences may not just be 46 St. John's Place. So sometimes, that's why I'm a little hesitant to sort of just come up with a silver bullet, because without really knowing the situation, it's kind of hard to suggest anything other than, the typical, what is known for, well, if it's pavement, it's not gonna absorb any water, grass does a little better, and then we move our way up, the chain in terms of planting, higher level woody species.
Okay,
I actually have a
Thank you.
question.
One other one.
To
Mr. Tom,
Mr. Chairman,
the building department, before it issues a building permit, what is your procedure about runoff, wetland, stormwater runoff and capture? Does the engineering department weigh in on that before the plans are approved? And how do we handle that?
this is in the 1/4 acre district. Any new construction 250 square feet or more will require stormwater mitigation. This project does fit that criteria. And they will have to prove that they capture all the stormwater that they are producing into an approved system.
Okay,
it actually is presented in our plan.
Okay, so-
all this water.
and you have that, you do?
Underground, yes.
Okay,
This is underground, this is something you wouldn't see, but basically it captures all the water on her property here, front. And then it's going to be replanted. So that is a requirement in town. You have to, whenever you put any kind of structure, when you have a roof or any kind of, you have to provide for water retention because you have additional, so that's that. But I have a question for Mr. Corelli, who was and thank you so much again for that letter because and responding to the owner's concerns. But I just overheard the chairman saying that it may be required for this to be a perpetuity. So given the fact, your assessment about these trees that may not take for, they may die in a few years. This is going to be, I don't know if you have a chance to read this letter, but I may I mean, this is from Mr. Corelli, but basically what he says here, so that there's going to be not enough sunlight and if newly planting or pursuing this corridor area, species meeting the botanical classification of shrubs suitable to shade tolerant conditions represent a more reasonable approach, which that's what we are doing. But also it would be anticipated growth in terms of both height and spread as a consequence of reduced photoperiod, which is really the period where the plant received the daylight,
I'm familiar with that.
and spatial conditions, just because it's narrow, would be slower in rate and limited in size, assuming they were able to survive. So I think, you know, the owner is willing to accommodate all the comments and all the concerns, and you know, these probably will be much more successful because there are not going to be shaded other trees, but in this case, because of there is a fence, and as you can see, and two big trees, you know, they can, I mean, it's giving the assessment,
If you're,
maybe,
if you're not certain that the planting plan that you're presenting to us is viable and will be workable
well, I
into the
think,
future, then I would suggest that you do and redo the planting plan, because whatever we approve tonight, if we approve it,
right,
will be written in stone, there will be no changes.
so I don't know, maybe Mr. Corelli can weigh in into this, because this is not in question being certain about given the conditions and the assessment, we cannot be certain that it's going to,
Understood,
you know,
I'm not an
that's
arborist,
what
but I
it
understand
is,
what you're
yeah,
saying.
and I think she asked Mr. Corelli about this assessment because of the fact that it's kind of narrow, just to make sure we have this big tree, these, you know, big trees and
Well, you guys are gonna cut all of this off of the back of our tree, like
no,
that whole side, cause
I-
our
I-
tree is on.
It's not, yes.
Yeah,
It's
so
not.
Their
that's,
property.
yeah, no, exactly, so it'll be nice and open for, I mean, I know the
But I
garage
don't
is
know.
coming up within feet of the
Right.
fence.
Yeah, but you see how that
But if
is.
they can't guarantee that something is gonna survive there, then we are not protected, and
Well,
that
that's
does not feel
only-
good.
What I'm driving at is that whatever planting plan is presented to us, if approved, will be written in stone, and they will have to maintain that forever. So if you're unsure of it, I would suggest you go back to your landscaping company and find out, you know, I'm not an arborist, I don't know every
No,
plant in the world that was
we
ever.
are planting the trees
growing,
which have the most chance to
If
survive.
there are other
Well, yeah,
if there
because
are
you
other
can't-
trees
you
or
can't be- Hopefully it's going to, I don't know, maybe Mr. Corelli can also weigh in.
I don't think he,
A tree like a Norway spruce can grow in shade.
Well, so the
Slow growing, but it can grow in shade.
the yew that we proposing, it has the you know, the most chances that it's going to survive, because I consulted with Mr. Corelli and that's what he said, so it should be fine.
Is this the green giant arborvitae, is that what you're talking about?
No, we are going to, so these 6 ones are, so we have 3 species, these, those and that. These are the ones that would be along, you know, and they grow in the shade, but they have to take,
That's an arborvitae
No, it's a
or the
that is yew
yew.
taxus, and this is the arborvitae. And this is the.
and what is the one on top, I didn't hear?
It's called yew.
You,
A yew.
oh, okay, alright.
So the question is, if they die, how long does she have to replace them? Like it is,
Immediately.
okay, I mean,
They have to maintain the parameters of the building permit and the zoning permit.
and if she doesn't, because she's not,
How's that
because,
enforced? Do we
yeah, how
just-
is that exactly what I'm
Well, I
trying
don't
to.
know, but that's here's the answer to that question, one of our 2 experts up here will answer that question.
Yeah, no, we're not, you know, I don't recommend that we delve into an area where we're giving advice about
No, I don't
enforcement
wanna
of.
give advice, exactly, I just wanted them to be aware of what happens when we grant variances. When we grant variances with with stipulations in those variances, that is required. It's not a suggestion, it's a requirement.
And don't we think she should be here to weigh in on this though? I mean, I'm surprised she's not here to defend, I mean,
That's her decision. not
but
ours.
you know, to be able
Decided
to say, yes, I will replace the, you have my word, which we know what her word usually means to us, but she's not here to hear all of this, and she's not even at the house that often, and so I'm worried that things will die, things are gonna stay like that. It's not a great situation. We don't feel very comfortable right now, and I'm sorry, we really don't wanna belabor this.
And we're not trying to take up your time.
No.
This is just the
This
first
is
we've seen these plans.
I understand.
We could have
We could have
debated this with her for 2
Yeah.
months. Now we get to see it here in front of you.
I was away, so I just.
But
No,
I
but
reached out to her and she could have reached back
she
to
could
me
have
and
reached
she
out
could have
to
said
us.
something to me, like that you were away.
Yeah.
So, and she didn't.
Well, is your client aware of the restrictions that are gonna be put on her?
Well, no,
If
no,
not,
because she's
then I
not
would suggest,
here.
I would suggest that
Yeah.
we postpone this hearing so that you can consult with your client, tell her what the parameters are, what the requirements are, what she will be required to do if and when this gets granted, and make sure that she's on board with that, because
Well, definitely for these, I don't know about those.
okay, so
Because these are more successful. I think we should I think they should be successful, so maybe Mr. Corelli can say something about it.
I don't know how far he wants to go with that.
Yeah, I was just gonna make one comment, because I don't have as much experience with your board, so my only comment was going to be that, is it acceptable on the plan, if it was going to be approved, to have, say, a list of candidate species, so you're not restricted to one or two, because, 5 years from now, if you're saying this plan is in perpetuity, and, one of those species is now no longer available because the pest has destroyed it, obviously, you sort of want to plan a little bit better than that, so, is it something as generic as, a suitable evergreen species replacement? Should they list 6 to 8 species that are typically used at property borders for screening purposes? That would be my recommendation if this is something that sort of needs to be listed, on the plan that's going into perpetuity. This way, if something doesn't work, you can kind of try something else, because there may be a reason why what you tried didn't work. That's my only 2 cents. Thank you for letting me speak.
I've been on this board a couple of years. I've never had that brought up. Whenever we grant a variance with a specific planting plan, we have never had that problem. We have required that the plantings that were in the planting plan were written in stone. We've never had anybody come back with that problem. We've never had any difference with that problem. And I don't think, unless our attorney tells me otherwise, I don't think we're gonna do that. I don't think we're going to have alternatives for anything. We need to know what's going to be there and be sure that it's going to be acceptable to the board and it's gonna be maintained that way for the benefit of the town.
I don't see any reason why you couldn't have the plan designate, the size or the approximate size of things, that's really what you're getting at,
Okay,
right?
I mean, like I said, I've never seen that before, but if you have a way of accomplishing that, I'm open to it. I don't know how my colleagues feel about it.
Can I ask council a question? If it was set where you didn't have a menu of different species to step in, if there was a problem with any of the plantings, I mean, that doesn't is there any prohibition on the property owner for coming back in for an additional variance that addresses that problem? So why do we have to address all these questions now?
That's true, they can always go back and ask for an additional variance if that should happen.
It varies from the plan, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And building inspector we're just talking about the idea of a maintenance bond. That goes along
I
with
get
the
it, okay, we can do that too. if there's concerns about it, we can require a maintenance bond to protect the plantings, that if they should be needed to be replaced, the money will be there
Well, that's going to be
to
within
replace
within the variance, yes?
That would be
Yeah,
within, yes,
yeah.
that would
within the variance. I don't wanna drag this out any longer tonight, I don't wanna drag this out any more into the months ahead, but I would suggest, and you can tell me if you want to do that or not.
Yes, let's
I would
do that.
suggest one more postponement and go back to your client
I
and be
think
sure your client is fully aware of the parameters and the requirements and the restrictions that are gonna be put on this, and before we go ahead with any kind of either approval or denial.
Right,
Okay.
no, I think unfortunately I can't speak for her, but I think it would be, if that is the variance that we going to receive, then she will have to obey by it, and if not, then change the structure, you know, so then that wouldn't be applying for that.
Well, and also I would tell your client that we're going to require a replacement bond on this, which is gonna cost her some money. But if that's the way it has to go, that's the way it has to go. Again, I don't wanna tell you what to do or anybody else what to do, but I would,
The fact that the board is not going to be meeting next month, that means
right,
another month,
we do not meet in
yeah.
August, exactly.
So I think we should just go ahead and then I will just present it to her the way it is written.
Can she contact your client and postpone this to later in the
Yeah,
meeting?
we can do that too, it's a good idea. You want,
That what?
Can you reach your client tonight?
Yes, I can
To
call
run this
her.
by them, we come back to this at
Okay,
the end of the
that
meeting?
would be the best actually.
okay, why don't we do that? We're gonna go on to the next case, we're gonna,
Okay,
you can
perfect.
try to
That's
reach your
that's
client,
the best.
tell her what's going on, and then we'll get you back later on. Good.
Okay,
Whippoorwill Club?
Good evening, Chairman, members of the zoning board of appeals. For the record, my name is James Ryan. I'm a member of the Whippoorwill Country Club. I'm also on their board of governors, and I'll be reviewing some of the pertinent facts about this application for your board in the context of the request for the amended special use permit. Also here with me tonight is our engineering staff representative, Anthony Nestor with JMC, who's been handling, I think he did the initial presentation before your board, handling matters of planning and engineering, working closely with staff. Brian Schmid is also here. He is the general manager of the club too, a very interested party in this too, because operations of the club are really his forte. And Andre Salgado is also here with Aquatectonics. They are the architect and designer of the pool. And with your permission, Mr. Chairman, I just want to go through, I know you've seen the application, they did a full presentation at last meeting. Just wanted to emphasize a few particular points on the application too, with your permission.
Sure, go right ahead.
So the board may or may not be aware that this work on this pool actually started in 2003, August 2003, so almost a full 3 years ago. We started working with the health department. There were issues with the pool that had to be addressed. The Whippoorwill Club retained Aquatectonics to help us look at the pool, realizing this pool is 60 years old. And the deficiencies are really, they weren't deficiencies 60 years ago, I can assure you, but standards have changed. And so we have actually been working closely with the health department since 2023. I'm okay still.
Just wanna clarify the record, you originally said the work on the pool started in August of 2003.
No,
You meant 2023, right?
2023, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I lose track.
That's okay.
So there was a commitment to the health department at that time that we'd make a number of changes to address some of the outstanding issues with the pool. They had to do with some of the terracing around the pool, some of the trip hazards and so on too. So we really started working with them, and once Aquatectonics got well into the review of this pool, we found that there were a lot of things that were substandard, including the main drain was not designed to handle the pool. At that time, it probably was consistent with the local code, but it was problematic in terms of things like water turnover and so on too. But there were a number of other things too. So we realized probably a year and a half into that too, that in working with the health department, that we were gonna have to essentially take this pool down and build a new pool. So the rebuild of the pool is really what this application is all about. And I know Anthony Nestor from JMC had gone through that with you. You see the changes are fairly minor in terms of the look of the pool is staying essentially in the same place, the hole in the ground is the same place, with the one change which is accommodating what now is the kiddie pool. It's into the overall design. There's something that the health department encouraged us to do too. It had to do with overall safety and lifeguards and how lifeguards would address this too. But also helped us in terms of accessibility too. The existing kiddie pool did not have a zero entry. We're now incorporating that into the overall design. And there's a lot of things that went into this design with the health department. So essentially this application is before you. The health department has really dominated the story here too. We work very closely, make sure we meet all their requirements for not only access but communications, safety, positioning of lifeguards. There's a whole lot of things that went in the health department. So we are coming to a close on that process with the health department. But our overall commitment is that as of Labor Day this year, this pool is done. Basically, we're shutting down the pool. That's our commitment to the health department. So we will no longer have a pool, and what we're hoping to do is start construction shortly after that. Which really brings me to the next point. But we have gone through the process. I'm very thankful for the input from the planning board. Staff has gone through the review. We've worked closely with the engineer. They've been very, very helpful. Dennis has been involved in this as well. And overall, your staff has been very helpful in moving this along as best we could. At this point though, we're at a critical stage. This pool is very, very important, not only just to Whippoorwill and its members, but it does serve what we know is well over 100 or so families out of this community too. So the pool has become important. Camp is critical. The kids are coming and using the pool too. It's really one of the core features. We have the golf, but the pool is really the secondary feature is most important. What I wanted to express to the board tonight is the urgency of this too. We are hoping to start construction. We have a very tight time schedule on construction. We're hoping that this board, there are several actions that have to take place, obviously closing of the hearing, the seeker determination, so on too, that the board might be able to in some way accommodate us without bringing us back late September. If we come back late September, because I know that you don't meet in August, we're gonna have a problem meeting our objective, which is to open it on the regular schedule for the use of the pool next season too. So I know that I'm humbly asking this board to consider if there's any way to whether it's and I don't know if it's out of character with this board to have some kind of special meeting. That is assuming if this board is inclined to vote for this application, to have some kind of special meeting, so in either late August or early September, so that we can proceed in construction. And then one of the key elements here is really the health department. Health department will not, we are in the very last stage of the health department. They're waiting for this town to make that decision so that they can complete their review. And following that, we still have a review. Tom's office and the building department will have to look at that too. So we want to have the time to start all of that too. If we go to the end of September, then we're really, it's going to be very problematic for us to try to fit in that construction. It's just not going to happen. So again, I know procedurally there's some things that have to be done, Mr. Chairman, but I was hoping that this board might in some way be able to accommodate us if it's inclined to vote in favor of this action too. That's, I know, presumptuous on my part though, but we've tried to do everything we can to give all the information not only to this board but to staff too. I'm just gonna conclude with that, Mr. Chairman, members of the board too. I'm thankful for again, the input from staff very quickly. We responded very quickly, and we're gonna continue to hopefully move forward to have a fully compliant pool, all health and safety requirements all met and supported and provide this to our community, which is your community as well, so.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Just for the record, I wanna put it in the record that personally, I don't have any problems with the variances that you're requesting. I think it's very reasonable.
Right.
But I'm concerned about, first of all, you mentioned seeker.
Right.
You try it, we like to get you, I don't know. What did you find out about seeker? How far do you have to go? Do you have to give us a full environmental impact statement
But we
or?
provided all of the documents. I know your planner has reviewed those.
Cause that can drag out so long.
Now,
that it could be
we've
ridiculous.
satisfied all those requirements and even the time requirements, so I think what we would hope is the neg deck would be issued as part of what we've provided to staff too. We have no more comments from Sabrina and her department, and again, you know,
But
that was presented to the planning board when we had their input as well.
But to get a neg deck, you have to be disturbing less than, I forget the amount of feet. It's I gotta.
5,000 square feet.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. But I know we met all the criteria
Yeah,
for
okay.
that, yes.
Because
Sabrina, how much is it?
let's see,
Check one action. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So my understanding, Mr.
so
Chairman.
what I'm saying is that you probably don't have to do a full EAF, you just
Correct.
have to do the short form.
But then we did submit that, yes.
You
Mr.
did?
Chairman.
Okay, so you're all set.
And I know you had declared your intent to become lead agency at the
Right.
last meeting as well.
Right,
too,
right,
so.
no, that's good, that's what I was hoping for, cause I didn't want to have you to go through a full
Understood.
form, and that's
Right.
just out of hand for what you're doing there. I'm glad we can help you. As to your request for a special meeting, that won't be the first time that we've done that before. The
Chairman.
problem about this time of the year is who knows who's gonna be here.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to interrupt, but apparently there is a memo from
From the town planner, there's a memo Jacqueline's going to get it if you didn't have it in the packet.
No, I don't have that.
Okay.
I know she mentioned something about
She was
A
preparing a
problem with the
memo
square
today
footage.
for the board,
okay.
so we're not sure if you received it or not, but we're gonna grab copies of it now.
Did anybody see it?
No, it's with so we did it based on the type 2 action.
According to Sabrina's memo, it's a type 2.
Right. And we did do a long form EAF
Yes.
on that too.
Okay. So it's not an unlisted, it's a type 2.
Yes. According to Sabrina's last memo.
That makes it easy for you guys.
Easier, thank you.
Easier, I think that easier.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay, and you have next, do you have something else you want to?
No, this Anthony was just reminding me of what has happened, some of that. He was handling most of the work directly with Sabrina, so.
Okay, so we're okay with that. So why would we need another meeting if
Well, if
we
this
have
board
to-
is inclined to or feel comfortable approving this application tonight, we would be thrilled, honestly, because we can present that. Obviously, there's some paperwork that has to pass through your planning department, official filing, but then we can provide that directly to the health department so that they can conclude their review, and that would put us well on track to be able to accomplish what we need to accomplish.
Cause according to my chart, if you're a type 2, there's no review, no further review necessary. As lead agency, we could just approve that,
Okay.
okay? So that's good. Anybody have any questions about?
No, I would just say that Whitwell is an important institution in this town, so I think that we want to be able to make this move along as quickly as possible.
We appreciate that, thank you.
So if we do a special meeting, they cover it.
I don't have a list of the variances.
I don't either. I looked for it, I can't find it.
We have so much paperwork here.
Okay. Warren has it.
Okay. I see you're gonna hand that to me, right?
I'll gladly do it, okay.
Okay, before we go too much further, okay, we know what we need to do here. Building department,
Yes,
any
sir.
input that you wanna give us before we go any farther with this, or are you comfortable with everything? Is there something that we need to do or not do?
It was my impression that we needed to have a second meeting in conversations with the town planner, that we could not solidify tonight with a final verdict.
Okay, so we can do that. I'm not going anywhere this summer, so I'm around. And if you wanna have something at the end of August or early September, I don't know if anybody else, you gonna be away?
I'll make myself available.
Okay, so that's 2. We need 3.
I'll make myself available, just gotta let me know when. I know I'm out of town through the 21st, I think
It
otherwise.
won't be before the 21st, yeah, no
I
doubt.
think I'll.
Like the week before Labor Day?
Somewhere in there.
Yes, that's fine.
Can I,
Full board, this is gonna be interesting.
do we have any flexibility with virtual versus non? I mean, or is that gonna make a mess?
I don't know, they changed that law, didn't they, about,
Yeah, well, that was the COVID era. I can get that response, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna personally, the week before Labor Day, I'm not gonna, but we'll provide
so
coverage.
we need 3 members for a quorum.
Right.
I should be.
And we have 3 that can be here in person, correct?
Yeah, back on 20.
So that's all, if you have a problem and you have to be
As
virtual
long as it's after the
and we can't do
21st.
virtual, we'll have to
We should be fine.
muddle along without you.
No.
We'll do the best we can. Okay, so now, that's that, we can give you a special meeting, you tell us what's, when you.
Yeah, the
when
end
you're
of
ready.
August would work for us. We'll advise the health department of such too. And hopefully they can conclude their review, and once they get the paperwork from the town, I think that everything will become official. In the meantime, what we'll be doing is filing the necessary building permits, the demo permits with your building department.
Okay.
And we'll move forward, and we thank you.
Okay, so we will discuss our availabilities, you do what you need to do, and then we'll let you know what days it will be.
Yeah, I mean, well, Anthony was just asking me if Sabrina will be writing a resolution. I think that's what she needed time to do that, so we can communicate directly with her about that too, if we have any questions on that.
Yeah, cause
as
we have to tie this in with your special use permit
Yes,
and somehow make sure all the parameters
yes,
for the pool area, lighting, noise, parking, et cetera, et
All
cetera,
of that, yeah.
carry through to the new pool.
yes,
If there's any little minor tweaks that need to be done,
right.
we'll have to get that under control too.
Right. And there is, I think, one matter too, and Dennis had brought this up about there is a requirement, and it was a little unclear, the planning board had suggested that this board can waive it, which is you can't issue 2 tree permits in 1 year. So the planning board mulled that over, and they felt that was in this particular case, because the other one had to do with a septic system and removing those trees. And this is somewhat of a different matter and a different nature too. I think Dennis also put that as a recommendation in his letter as well too. So that's the one off on this.
I saw that memo and I personally don't have any problem with it.
Right,
I don't
right.
think my other fellows here.
Okay, so other than that, we appreciate this board's time.
Okay, so
And
we will,
look forward to.
Mr. Chairman, I believe we need a motion for the to direct the town staff to draft a resolution.
so moved.
Second, the motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Okay, so
Thank
we'll get staff to work on their end, you guys do what you have to do. We will know, we'll let you know when we're good for a special meeting.
Okay.
Hopefully you'll coordinate with your time
Terrific.
and we'll get this
Well, we
thing
will
done.
definitely be
Right.
available.
We'll get it done.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Thanks for
All right,
coming.
have a good night.
You too.
Luke Nachi.
Good evening, I hope you have the application, if not, I have copies of it here for your convenience. Oh, you do have it.
Yeah, that's
Alright, great. So a couple months ago, I may look familiar, a couple months ago, I came in front of here seeking a various variances for a pool. And while I was there, I was explaining to you that we did phase one of some landscaping, which was basically to put up a lot of greenery to pretty much natural fence, the fence in our backyard. The second phase of landscaping was to put, as my wife calls it, a pop of color. A lot of flowers, rose bushes and such not. And while the landscaper was there, if I could basically steal a line from a famous movie, man has entered the forest, it's really the deer has entered the backyard. Because literally the next day, there were deer in our backyard having a buffet on all of the petals and flowers. So now we are back to having all greenery and there is no flowers, so we had hoped to just do natural fencing around the backyard. We will not go into the front yard, it will be on the side of the backyard. And we are now looking to put a deer fence along the perimeter of the property, butt up against the Green Giant arborvitaes. The arborvitaes right now are 7 to 9 feet tall. As they grow, they're going to grow into the open mesh fence. And the variance that I'm seeking is that we're allowed to put a 6-foot deer fence, but we would like to put an 8-foot deer fence. Talking to two fencing companies for proposals, they recommended because 6 foot in the backyard, deer could easily, as one person said, bounce over it. 8 foot, they could actually jump over it if they're chased by a coyote or a dog. Where it comes into the house, the side of the part, we will do a 6-foot decorative ornamental fencing. And they also said that, because of the scent of humans going on the sides, at the 6 foot, on the 6 foot on the side is fine. But along the backyard, and there's a picture, a couple pictures in here. Along the backyard, it would be wise to put a 8-foot. So we need a 2-foot variance, 6 foot to 8 foot, to try to protect the investments that my wife and I are putting in to make the property look nice. As you can see, there's a couple pictures here. Along the backyard, there's 2 rows of trees between my property and my neighbor's property, so he really will not be seeing it because it's gonna be in between the tree line on the facing the property on the right side. Again, there's arborvitaes. The nice thing about this, I think, with this project is, again, it's going up against an arborvitae. As that they grow, it's gonna camouflage and mask the 8-foot fence that we're asking for. If you're facing the house on the left side, there's already, my neighbor has a 6-foot or a 5-foot, 6-foot wooden fence to protect his pool. There's a 20-foot gap in between his fence and our arborvitaes. It's on his property, but again, we're gonna put the mesh. It's 2-inch by 4-inch open black mesh. That again, both fencing companies said that next to the arborvitaes, it's really gonna be camouflaged or masked. So that's in essence what I've come and asked you for. Going over the 5 criteria, will there be an undesirable change or characteristic of the neighborhood? And I would like to say or propose no, because there's other properties throughout the neighborhood that either has a white vinyl fence, again only 6 feet, but a white vinyl fence, or a wooden fence. Again, this is gonna be camouflaged within the existing arborvitae's. Is there another method that we could achieve? We had hoped that really just a natural fence of the arborvitae's would do it, but the deer just come right through it. And as I already mentioned, you know, two fencing experts, you know, are proposing that 8 foot is better than 6. We are in 1 acre, so we do have you know, if you visited the property, you'll see that you know, it's not close and we're spaced out neighbor to neighbor. The houses and the properties are spaced out. And is it substantial? You know, we are asking for 2 foot variance, but again, it's gonna be masked, so I think that's one of the benefits to, you know, if you feel that it's substantial, I would just counter and say that, you know, they're going up against 7 to 9 foot arborvitae's. It's not gonna have any environmental impact, physical impact on the neighborhood. And the last criteria, if it's self-created, yes, it is self-created, cause again, we're trying to protect the investment that we're putting in our backyard. The other added feature here is by putting up this fence, for my pool, I'm going to still put an ornamental fence around the pool for protection of the grandkids and stuff, but now this deer fence will actually keep out humans walking back and forth into the back property as well as the deer. So I thank you for your time and listening to me and your consideration. That is what we are looking to do. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer.
I understand your concerns about the deer, totally. I got up the other morning with 5 in my backyard, one big buck with a whole nice rack on. I don't have a pool, so it doesn't affect me too much.
And they're not afraid of humans. I actually walked back there to shoo them out of the property line and I had to come within like 6 to 8 feet of them before they started to, they're just looking at me
They're
and I was
very
like,
acclimated to this.
yes.
I understand what you're saying. Okay, any comments from the board?
I would say, I have an acre, my summer home, I have this deer fence, and I would say that they're really invisible. You can't see, and it has to be 8 feet.
Mhm.
And you have to put the pegs in the bottom of it and, no, so it's a benign, it's not like an 8 foot white vinyl fence, it's a very benign, invisible entity.
Yes, yes. It's a wire fence, open, the PVC, it's very thin. And again, the arborvitae is just gonna grow into it. If they wanna eat the arborvitae through the fence, you know, a 2x4, so be it. Just, my wife just wants the pop of color.
Anybody else? Anybody online or in the room that would like to address this application?
No hands are raised online.
No online, nobody here, okay. In that case, I move that we close the public hearing.
I second that motion.
Chairman Giordino.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
I'll make a motion for the pop of color application. That we grant variance for 8 foot open mesh deer fence to protect the garden and significant garden of the Lupinacci's house at 19 Peck Road in Mount Kisco. They have done considerable work and spent considerable money on the property with the pool, et cetera, and this would be a prudent addition to preserving that property. The granting of the variance will not create an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties. The benefits sought by applicants really cannot be achieved by any other feasible method. This is the way to do it. The requested variance of 2 feet over above the standard 6 foot is not huge, but there's no other way to solve this problem. Will not have an adverse effect or impact on the physical and environmental conditions in the neighborhood. There are no neighbors who are present who have written or have written. It is a self-created hardship, as the homeowner puts out, but it's a necessary one in order to preserve his wife's POC.
Thank you.
you wanna give a start?
Oh, yes, you wanna, and what's your timeline in putting this in?
We've already basically we've narrowed the two down to one, and once we get the variance, we're I mean, it's gonna be within, I'll say, 2 weeks, just to make sure that they have
would
the
have-
supply.
I mean, generally we're 6 months to start and get it finished, but I think your timeline is way faster than that. We can say 3 months to start and 6 months to finish. Is that what you wanna do?
There is no building permit required, so that criteria is not important.
Okay.
Trust me, it'll be done within the month.
Yeah, okay.
I'll second that motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
You have your variance, good luck.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
You too.
Okay. You have one more to go.
There's one more before.
Oh, there was
One
one
more
more.
before
One
you.
more to go.
He's on Zoom.
Okay.
Michael, you're on.
Okay, good evening. Michael Picarola, I'm at Architects, representing my clients at 1155 Hardscrabble Road. Right there in person. My client's single family residence has a non-conforming front yard. The front corner of their northern corner of their house is 45.9 feet to the property line and is required. Because of the orientation of the house and the approach of the house, they don't use their front door as a traditional front door, it's a control driveway. So we are proposing to expand the mudroom and by 50 square feet and to give it the proper portico, protection, another 50 square feet. So it's a pretty minimal variance for what's going to be effectively a big change to their house. So we are looking for a 40 feet proposed where 60 is required.
Anybody have questions about this?
One question.
Have you heard from any of the neighbors with respect to this application?
Alright.
Have you heard from any of the neighbors in the adjoining properties with respect?
No, we have not. Actually, there's quite ample existing screening between the house and Hardscrabble. And you really can't see any of the neighbors from their house. So they're pretty much in the woods with all the deer.
Yeah. Any other comments? Anybody in the audience or online that would like to speak for this application? No hands are raised, nobody here. Okay, I don't have a problem with this one at all.
Oh, good.
I move we close the public hearing.
I second the motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
Oh, you get that.
Okay, this is an application for a front yard setback for property located at 1155 Hardscrabble Road, Michelle and Young property. This is to construct a front portico and mudroom, and a 20-foot front yard variance is sought, and I move that we approve the request for variance for the following reasons. First, I do not believe that the granting of the variance will create an undesirable change to the character of the neighborhood. There's been nothing in the record to suggest that. The benefit that the applicant is seeking does not seem to be able to be achieved by any other method, given the specifics of what they're looking to achieve. Is the requested variance substantial? In the context of this, no, I don't believe it is. Will there be an adverse effect on the environmental conditions in the neighborhood? No, I've heard nothing in the record to suggest that. Is the alleged difficulty is self-created. You could argue that it is, but the benefit to the applicant weighs any detriment to the community. And so with that, I would, Tom, what do you need for this?
Foundation survey, please.
Foundation survey, and the applicant will have 6 months to start, a year to finish. I have a second.
I second the motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
You have your variance, good luck.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you, Jackie, too. Bye.
You're welcome.
Okay. Coach Sticky?
So I spoke with the owner and explained the conditions and that basically if the plan as we presented needs to be maintained in perpetuity. And so the owner agreed to this solution.
Okay, so you're willing to commit to whatever it takes to keep those plantings in order,
As long as I'm alive.
as long as you're alive. Well, no, then the next owner will also have to do that, it goes with the property, runs with the land. So it's not just, we're not just picking on you, it runs with the land. I do like the idea of a replacement bond, how do we word that for, if we get into an approval?
It would be a 10-year replacement and maintenance bond. It's very commonly done through the planning board.
Yeah.
What is that? What does that mean?
You would be obligated to have this document drawn up and you would post a certain dollar amount that in the event that something dies or they all die, if you did not replace them, there would be monies to do that on your behalf.
Okay. I'm assuming it's a reasonable amount, the bond, or?
We're not
How do,
gonna,
how do we
can't go
determine
That would be
the amount?
based on input from the environmental coordinator to what is necessary.
Okay, but then how would that affect a decision, if we make a decision tonight and we don't have a number, how are we gonna handle that? You'll leave it open-ended?
Well, you mean what amount we're requiring the
Yeah,
bond in?
yeah,
Yeah,
right.
I mean, we,
I have no idea what these plantings cost. And so how would we determine what the coverage would be?
I mean, we could have conditional approval subject to, mutual agreement on the amount of the bond, or we can, vet that out and come back with that as a final condition.
Okay.
Well, the bond, right, would somebody issue the bond, a third party, or does the town issue that?
No, you have to get that.
So they,
Either a cash bond or a surety bond.
okay, so somebody's gotta come up with a value and a risk of how much, right?
Yeah, what we can do, I'm sorry to interrupt,
Yeah.
what we can do is we can say that we're requiring a 10-year maintenance bond in an amount and on such terms as the zoning board shall approve. Including the credit, the rating of the issuer, and the terms of the bond and the amount. So we can leave that open as a condition.
Alright,
And then what about the planting plan, what did we decide to have some flexibility
well,
in that, or if we get into
that's
the,
another question. The planting plan that you've submitted has some plantings in there that are not prone to grow in the shade, let's put it that way. But you have shade.
No,
Are
they
you
are
going to-
actually supposed to grow in the shade.
Which ones, are the ones,
The ones that have the narrow
Okay.
strip, those are
so they're
especially
okay in the shade?
they are okay in the shade normally,
But
yes,
the
but
green
it's a
giants,
plant.
the green giants are not, but they're up.
But they are up front,
They
they're
won't be in the
next
shade.
to,
Right.
That's
they're
not their
next,
concern.
they're
The
next to
shade,
the,
they're not in the shade. The front ones
right,
are not.
next to a driveway.
So we'll use,
So yeah, but I mean, the whole
because again,
letter
what's
was about
that planting plan is part of the whole deal, and it's gotta be, it's gotta be
Yeah.
maintained that way.
Yes.
Okay. Anybody else?
I just ask one question about the water runoff and how is the driveway, I wasn't sure how the driveway is designed, is it gonna be curved?
There's going to be a
push the water
curb.
away from the neighbor, I think that was a concern.
There is going to be a curb on both sides and of course it's going to be sloped from the garage, it's you know. But there's also retainage, water retainage tanks underneath that are going to be
In
for it all.
gutter runoff,
Yes,
that's gonna be into
that's,
that
it
tank
goes
as well.
underneath, yeah, in those tanks, so they
The
are.
roof gutters are also connected to that?
Yes, yes.
So you have an
They
approved
need to be-
stormwater prevention plan for your.
So we are, you know, this is not for the zoning, but yes, we
No,
have
no,
it
right.
drawn up already and I was consulting with Terry who is coordinating that.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Anybody else in the audience would like to comment on this or online?
No hands are raised online.
Nobody online, okay. Just presented it, ready to go. Okay, I'll make a motion that we close the public hearing.
I second the motion.
Chairman Giordina,
Aye.
Mike Nolan,
Aye.
Ron Genzeg,
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb,
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
Alright, I'm gonna make the motion that the application, this Wojcicki application for 4 variances for the construction of a new garage. The variances being as listed here, the garage addition needs a side yard setback of 3 feet. The existing shed needs a requested variance of 25 feet. The side yard setback for the shed is 9 feet. And we need a building coverage variance of 22 square feet, which is minimal. Be approved for the following reasons. The granting of the variance will not create an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood. There are no other methods to achieve the benefits sought other than the granting of a variance. There will be no adverse on the physical environment and conditions of the neighborhood. There's going to be stormwater prevention procedures in place. They're on the plan. The engineering department will have control of that. This is a self-created hardship, but the benefit to the homeowner will far outweigh whatever perceived hardships there are to the town. The planting plan as submitted, a part of this approval process will include this caveat that the planting plan as submitted will be maintained in perpetuity. The applicant has agreed to provide the town with a 10-year replacement and maintenance bond, which could be either a cash bond or a bond from a surety company. The amount of the bond is to be determined by which agency?
So what I would suggest,
Because we wanna get this right too.
is that we condition the approval on a maintenance bond in an amount and on other terms as the board shall approve in consultation with the engineering department.
I like,
Um
that's the words we'll use.
and the bond will be for the maintenance and replacement of the related to the planting plan.
And that'll be a 10-year bond.
10 years, yeah.
Right. After 10 years, don't forget, you're still required to maintain.
While I'm alive,
to
yes.
as long as that property exists, whether you own it or somebody else owns it, the requirements are still there.
Okay.
The 10 years is just because in the early part of the plantings, we do have just in normal circumstances, you will have plants that make it and some that don't.
I
And those
understand.
that don't will have to be replaced and maintained. We'll have 6 months to start, 1 year to finish. We're gonna need foundation surveys prior to framing for your new garage and when any other addition. And then final survey when the project is completed. Did I miss anything? Anybody have anything else they want to add? Okay, that's my motion.
I second the motion.
Chairman Giordina,
Aye.
Mike Nolan,
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry, did you go through the five factors?
Yes, we did.
I did.
I remember you saying one of them, I didn't know if you
You told me again?
I'm sorry, I might have just been distracted, I apologize.
That happens to me too, that happens to me too. Especially on a 100-degree day today, I was outside, I was out
It must be
today.
the tie.
You see, I got smart, I didn't put that on tonight. Okay, let's continue.
Yeah, so I second the motion and then we're gonna start again.
Chairman Giardina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
You have your variance, good luck.
Thank you very much.
Alright. We have approvals of the June 25th, 2025 meeting minutes. Make a motion that we approve the minutes
I
as
second the
submitted.
motion.
Chairman Giardina. Mike Nolan. Ron Genzeg. Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
Adjournment is in order and I move we adjourn.